Is it possible to be an ambitious, sensitive person? In this video, I share 3 essential practices that have helped me personally run a psychotherapy practice, become a published author, start a podcast, and a lot of other projects. And I know that these are going to be able to help you meet your goals as well. A lot of HSPs are very successful. A lot of HSPs are very ambitious, right? We have lots of ideas. We can see how well things can be done. We want to make things better. We get really passionate about our work. So absolutely, you can be an ambitious, sensitive person, no matter what field you're in, whether it be tech or arts or medicine or law, whatever you're doing. There's a wide range. We're so different as HSPs. Now, the one caveat is, again, we will need to find balance. So you will need to be intentional about the big picture. So I'm definitely guilty of this. We want to put everything into work. We want to make it as productive, as successful as possible because it's what other people see the most. It's the outward facing part of our lives. And because we're more impacted by criticism, by feedback, we want to buffer ourselves against that as much as possible. And also we want to feel worthy. And a big marker of that in our society is how successful we are at work. So we tend to put a lot of energy there, but then what happens is because we have limited bandwidth, the other parts of our lives get neglected, they get malnourished. So you really want to find a place of balance, and that could mean cutting out what's not important. So looking at what are you saying yes to that isn't essential, that's not necessary, that doesn't bring fulfillment or any type of nourishment for you. Are you doing things just to do them because you think that's what's expected of you, that's what everyone else is doing? So making some edits to how you're spending your time, how you're expending your energy. That's going to be really essential. So that way you have more time for your work. You can lean into that as much as you need to pursue your ambitions, but then also, again, finding a counterbalance. You've heard me talk about that before, and making sure you're also equally devoting time to rest, to activities that nourish and fulfill you. That's really important when you're a more sensitive person. We need that fulfillment. And then people are always asking me how I do so much because I have a psychotherapy practice, I've written books, I'm doing this podcast, showing up on YouTube and social media, and there's a few ways this is possible, and I've tweaked it over the years, but number one is asking for help. So I have people that help me behind the scenes. I could not do what I do without them. So grateful for them and their support. And then help in my personal life from friends, from my therapist, from my wife, just making sure that I'm being bolstered by those people and not needing to do it all myself. That's a big part of the puzzle, right? Not holding it all on my shoulders alone. And there are times where I definitely try to do that. I'm an eldest child, and I can sometimes slip into that hyper independent space. Oh, I can do it. I don't need to ask for help. And also, asking for help can be challenging sometimes as an HSP. We may not want to risk the rejection or, create an imposition on someone. We don't want to burden them. But really, a lot of times people are happy to help, especially since we give so much. So people can oftentimes be excited to support us in return. So asking for help is a big piece of the puzzle for me personally. And then boundaries. You hear a lot about boundaries, but they are so important, especially if you're highly sensitive and you have limited energy. And if you have big ideas about how you want to expend that energy, boundaries are your best friend. They are a non-negotiable. It's really important to think about, how do I want to spend my energy? What is most sustainable for me? And practicing saying no, or you've heard me probably talk about this too, at least compromising. Maybe you're not saying no, maybe you're saying yes, but you're saying yes on your own terms. So you're helping someone, you're socializing with someone, but maybe for less time or in a different location or on a different date or time, or you're approaching that connection in a different way than you used to make it work for you. So boundaries, again, so essential, um, and something that I have slowly gotten more comfortable with over time. And so I just say that to give yourself permission that, we're often not taught how to set boundaries. Boundaries can feel harsh. They can feel distancing in a relationship when really they're essential. That way, everyone is getting their needs met, and then it makes the relationship more sustainable, more balanced over the long term. And then another big piece for me in pursuing my work dreams, while also finding balance, is taking a day to do nothing. Now, for me, that's usually Fridays, but if not Fridays, then Sunday or at least one day of the weekend. But just having an unstructured day. So, especially if you're in hyper productivity mode, you're doing a lot of engaging, intellectual work, your brain needs a rest. And because we are deep processors, we pause and reflect before acting. Your brain is always anticipating what's next. So that's day to day, that's week to week. So just think about a day where you have an appointment. It could be a work appointment, it could be a doctor's appointment, it could be a friend date. Just think about how you spend that morning versus a day when you have nothing on your calendar. You're anticipating, usually. Not necessarily in an anxious way, just in a wanting to be prepared way, a preparatory way. Okay, I'm leaving at 4. Okay, then that means I need to get ready at 3. Okay, where am I going? Where am I going to park? How am I going to get there? What should I wear? Oh, I wonder what I'm going to eat while I'm out to lunch. Or, oh, I wonder what I'm going to say in this meeting. I wonder who else is going to be there. There's so many questions that come up. And it takes brain space. It takes brain energy, mental energy. So needing to have time when that's not the case, where you have an open day where you can allow yourself to catch up on processing what happened before. You can allow yourself to just follow your impulses throughout the day. Oh, what do I want to do right now? Oh, you know what I really feel like doing? I want to get on my yoga mat, or I want to work on that puzzle. I want to read that book. I want to go for a hike. And you can just have free space to listen to your body. Very good practice when you're highly sensitive, when you tend to want to get things right, and you're often seeing people in your external environment that don't necessarily match what's happening for you. So it's a great practice in reconnecting. So having that day off to do nothing and to recharge, find a sense of internal fulfillment in whatever activities you're engaging in, having a mental rest, and then you can re-engage the rest of the week. So those are just a few ideas how to create a sense of balance when you put a lot of energy into your work, when you have big ideas and dreams for yourself. Just want to encourage you that it is possible. And highly sensitive people are amazing creatively, problem solving. We bring a lot of assets to any workplace, whether you work for an organization or you work for yourself. There's just so many gifts we bring to the table. So I do want to encourage you that just because you're highly sensitive doesn't mean you can't meet those dreams and those goals. It's just a matter of finding balance. Make sure you have space to rest, to decompress, to process your thoughts and feelings so you can clear out and have space to do your work. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments down below, and then check out the description for more helpful HSP resources if you need a little extra support in creating a more balanced lifestyle to meet your goals. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.